Hi there, I'm Stuart Tweddle from Darnham. We milk 400 cows here on our dryland farm just out of Warrigal. We rear 150 calves, I think it'll probably be this year, and we rear a handful of steers as well. We historically have housed our calves in a normal shed and reared them in batches of 15 or so, but that has proven to be getting more and more difficult over the years with the combined housing of the calves. So this last couple of years we've moved to an individual housing of the calves in hutches. The calves stay in these hutches for 3 weeks, individually housed on bedding, and have no contact with other calves, or hopefully minimal contact with human hands at the same time. The calves are just fed from the outside of the pen twice a day. When a calf is born, the cow and calf are brought to the dairy, where the calf is held for a couple of hours awaiting its colostrum dose. It gets its mother or an adjacent or freshly calved cow's colostrum at that time, along with a supplement of a colostrum feed, and the calves are then immediately brought back down to the individual hutch where they stay for their 3 weeks. At that point, at about 3 weeks, when the calf starts to develop its own immunity, we pull them out of their individual housing and put them in groups of 10 in igloos typically, where we can run them like that for a further 5 or 6 weeks, where they're then weaned off milk and go along grazing with their pellets and hay that had been going for the previous 6 weeks in the igloos. We really enjoy the system for feeding the calves. It's very comfortable for the calves. It's nice dry bedding and protected, not drafty. Open to the north, so there's always plenty of sun. Obviously the disease control is a real plus. The fact that we can move to a different site every different calf that gets reared in a hutch, so we've always got clean ground to rear the calves on. That's a very important factor. The convenience about the speed of feeding them, that it works fairly efficiently. We drag a 300 litre what we call a milk taxi around behind the motorbike, and feed a predetermined 2.5 litres per calf per day, per feed, and that can be done in 20 minutes or so, just going through all of these calves in that time. So it's a pretty efficient way of feeding. Yeah, how we can improve the system, I think I'm very happy about the way the system runs. In terms of a minor difficulty, I guess, might be that in windy and exposed areas, the hutches can be prone to get blown away, hence we run them in a fairly protected area here adjacent to some trees. In an open area exposed to prevailing winds, you might need to peg the hutches down for a bit more security. The reason for the hutches was our problems with scours, typically with calves, and it made it a lot more difficult to manage when you've had them running in groups. Once they're individually housed, there's no spreading of the bacteria or the viruses that we have to manage, and it controls the outbreaks very much more significantly. We still have the odd problem, but it's definitely much more easy to control. No, I think the system, it seems, with a couple of years we've been using it now, and we've been fine-tuning it a little over that period, and I'm very happy with the way it's running.